Hi everyone. Okay, so today's video is kind of funny, and this is something that I saw about 4 or 5 days ago and I had to make a video about it. So join me in this little kiki, and if you want to have a giggle then definitely stick around. Okay, so basically let me just set out the whole situation, the whole scenario for you so you can comprehend it, okay, and you can feel like you were there with me. So I was in West London. I was sitting down at a brasserie. I was outside the tables with like the overhead heating, and just sat down there, ordered myself a little cake and a latte or something, and the table next to me had a couple that looked like they were in their early to mid 40s, and there was not much conversation going on that table. I looked over a few times and I was trying to get the tea on what was going on, because it's like, is it a date that you're on? Because there's not much conversation, so how is it a date if you're not getting to know each other? And then it's like, maybe you've been in a relationship for a long time and you're just like bored of each other and there's nothing else to say, and that's why there's no conversation. I don't know. At one point the lady got up to go to the bathroom or something, I'm assuming, and then she came back a few minutes later. The next thing I knew, the waitress came over and she had the card machine. Now this is where it gets awkward, but before I tell you what happened, I'm just going to say this. Let me just lay down how the lady looked and how the man looked, okay? So like I said, early to mid 40s. The lady was basically like, she was basic Betty. I'm just going to keep it real. She was basic Betty. She was definitely one of those ladies that probably is all into her career, doesn't care about her looks anymore. She hasn't shopped since like 2009, and she was just that's just how she was, okay? The exterior, not to say like her face, but how she presented herself wasn't like, wasn't putting her best foot forward, basically. The guy kind of looked more on the geeky side, but he was put together a lot more than the lady was, and they were both a tiny bit like chubby, like a bit fluffy. So the guy, see, he had his cards. At this point I'm watching, because I'm like, I need to see how this goes down. So I'm watching and I'm like, not trying to make it obvious, the guy has his card out and she says, oh no, I have no problem paying half, I'll pay half, no problem. And he said, no, I want to pay, look, let me pay. So at this point I knew, okay, it's a first date. That was getting awkward, because she was insisting. I think she insisted 2 or 3 times that she would pay half. And in the end, he was just like, like he was over it. He was really over it, and I could tell he felt embarrassed. All right, so let's just bring it back a tiny bit, okay? There was a waitress standing at the table waiting to take payment for this lunch that had happened. And the guy was insisting to pay the whole thing, and the woman was insisting to pay half. And you know, when women are going, like, women are going to win. So she won, and she was paying half. He looked over it, he looked embarrassed, and honestly, he just looked like kind of deflated afterwards. He felt all those things, all right? And I was just like, ooh, you know, this is getting awkward. And I'm like taking a sip of my latte, I'm like, damn. So they get up, and at this point I'm still like watching, they get up and they make their way, you know, to just outside the fence of the actual, you know, restaurant, outside part, seating area. And the way that the date ended, the way that they ended, like their hug, their ending conversation, which I actually couldn't hear, but I could see it, was just all not romantic in any way, shape or form. It didn't seem like there was any type of romance there with them. They went their separate ways, and you know, when a guy's really into you and he finds you attractive, he will do anything to make contact with you, like be tactile in some type of way. There was no tactile stuff going on apart from the hug. You know, the hug with the back tap. Yeah, there was nothing else that went on apart from that hug. So He wasn't feeling it. I think she was definitely feeling it more, and she was the driver of the conversation when they left the actual seating area. So I feel like he just wanted to go and she just wanted to talk a tiny bit longer. I don't know. Let me tell you guys something. You women out there that insist on paying, that insist on being bossy, that want to take control over everything, and you have a control issue, you drive people away. Allowing somebody to take care of a date doesn't mean that you are still not a boss when you go to work. It doesn't mean that. On your date, guess what? You're not at work. And a lot of people don't realize this. Now, let me explain something else to you. Some women will be like, oh, I didn't get called for the second date. He's not that interested. You were probably not feminine enough. When a lady is feminine, when she is girly, when she seems sensitive and frail and giggly and charming and pretty and attractive and alluring, and she smells good and she's such a woman, it makes men feel kind of pumped up, and the instinct is masculine. Their natural instinct is to go into chase mode, is to go into protect mode. So if you guys want men to still be men in 10 years time, then you need to fall back and fall into your feminine ways. And some people aren't going to like what I'm saying, but those of you who get it will get it. Those of you who don't will be in marriages and you'll be in long-term relationships, and you'll wonder why your man gets more flirty when he's around feminine women, or you catch him looking at women that are more feminine than you. That's when it might start clicking with you. He wants a feminine person, and if he has found you before he meets another woman who is very feminine, then he might be settling with you. I just feel like women are so used to now running everything in, with work and their careers, and that's fine, but when you're on a date, it's not a career, it's not work anymore, it's a date. And it's nice for all women to be looked after in a sense and to be treated as ladies. That's how I feel. And every single woman deserves to have that feeling, okay? So comment below if you are hashtag masculine or if you are hashtag feminine. Comment below in the comment section and let's have discussions down there, and I'll see you guys in my next video.